Hello guys and welcome back to my channel Firewall again. In last video on a cloud computing we learned about what is serverless architecture and what is their pros, their benefits, their advantage. If you have not watched this video, please go ahead and watch this video. I have given a link on the description. You go ahead and check that link and just understand what benefit we get from the serverless architecture. Benefits like scalability, reduce operational burden, pay per user pricing, like that. I have explained all those details in very detailed manner. Just go ahead and watch that and come back to this video. There are benefits using this serverless architecture, but as everything has a pros, there will be cons. Disadvantages, drawbacks. So we are going to talk about what are the cons, disadvantages, or not too usable benefits of the serverless thing. So as we know, in AWS we have a Lambda function, and in Azure we have Azure function, which act like a serverless configuration for you and serverless infrastructure for you. So consider this thing. Now you have given all your functions and everything, configuration, and you are good to go. You're running the code using this Lambda or Azure function, and somehow you come up with some sort of difficulties, and you need to troubleshoot that problem. As this environment is a cloud environment, we all know it's hosted by some vendors like AWS or Microsoft. So very first disadvantage, what I would say here, is lack of having visibility in terms of, or lack of having ability to do troubleshooting with respect to whatever the issues you get. You have to be dependent on the cloud provider for troubleshooting. This is the one of the important issues, or I would say the cons, what developer or whosoever managing this serverless architecture is facing nowadays. Second thing, you lock in. Basically, whatever infrastructure we have for this serverless configuration, it's from the cloud providers. So cloud providers will be having their own APIs, their own thingy, nothing but the things, their own things, and it's like proprietary for that cloud provider. So once you configure serverless configuration, you go in, you utilize the cloud providers facilities, their APIs and everything, you get locked in. Suppose you want to do some sort of migration to some other vendor, or you want to do migration to your in-premises, whatever you hosted on this serverless architecture, whatever the code is there, you have to take that and migrate it to some other way. It is difficult, or maybe nearly not possible, because we'll be having different proprietary things for the vendors itself, and using that thing only, that particular thing is still running, and now you're migrating to some other vendor or some other entity. It is difficult. So second disadvantage, cons, I would say the vendor locks in. Once you are in, you have to be there. Then this is normally what the coders and the users face, this issue. Cold start latency. For example, generally if you are running some code into this Azure Lambda or you're running some code in AWS Lambda and Azure function, and that code is running not frequently, it's like some activity is getting triggered and that function is get run. So if there is a period of inactivity for that particular function, that particular code, then that function, that code faces cold start latencies. What that means, it initiated everything from the scratch. You have to bear that amount of time until that completely get processed. So this is what one of the disadvantage whatsoever this coders and whosoever managing this serverless architecture is facing. Then cost consideration. It is benefit as well as a disadvantage. Why I am saying so? So consider you are running your function, your code, whatever, with this serverless architecture, and it's like always running. It's very high workload you have over there. So in that situation, the costing goes as per the use, right? So if you are continuously using this thing, you will be paying more what you are paying with server oriented configuration. So the costing part is depends. If you are using this serverless thing not frequently, it's like after you have some requirement that something got triggered, only that function get runs, or you're not running it frequently sort of scenario. In that case, the costing is something is benefit. You get lots of benefits as compared to the server oriented configuration or server oriented architecture, because over there you have to pay for the server thing for that certain amount what you are running for or a certain period of time. But here you are paying the cost as per your use. So if you are not utilizing it for say entire year, you are utilizing it for a few months, then it's benefit for you. So that is again, I would say, the advantage as well as disadvantage. It's like based on your requirement, right? I would say it's my recommendation, if you are using the serverless architecture, AWS Lambda or Azure Function, always try to see you are not utilizing that thing quite frequently. Or you can put your things or function code which is not all the time in use, having more workload. In that case, you will be paying more what we have with the server oriented configuration. And one more thing what we have observed so far, it's like a resource limitation. Serverless configuration is completely managed by your vendor. So memory, storage, CPU uses, or for your individual functions, it get increase, get decrease. Whenever your application require more CPU, more RAM, you feel some limitation over there. This is based on the experience, guys. Immediately you are not getting what actually throughput you want in terms of the CPU uses, storage, memory. So we need to understand there are some limitations as well as benefits of this sort of configuration. So one should use serverless architecture or a configuration or a function as per the requirement and after validating all these important points. So guys, thanks for watching this video and have a wonderful day.